Jonathan Walls gives you the package you guys kind of put in the game.
Yeah, well, Jonathan's somebody we can trust, and we try to find ways to keep him very involved. I think he's got a good role with our offense, and so there's always going to be times week to week where we try to use him. It may be the same each week, it may be different each week, and so we just that's kind of a week to week deal. But he's a guy. He's a strong runner. He's smart. He's tough. He's going to make good decisions, whether it's throwing the ball or in read game and kind of stuff like that. So we just try to find ways to plug him in when it's advantageous for us.
Is there any thought of Jeremy in package, anything like that?
That's always a possibility. We haven't ruled anything out, but at this point, we don't have one. We're taking it game by game. Nick's our guy, and Jonathan has played in both games now. And, we feel like that was always kind of part of the plan. Some games maybe more so than others.
Jordan Diamond, first time you ever played college football. Sean Coleman, first time.
Yep.
How'd they do?
It was good. It was good to see them get out there and get that experience. I know both of them were kind of pretty excited about it after the game. And they got in some meaningful drives. I mean, I think they scored 7 or 10 points when they were in the ball game. And so that's good because, like I said, we're about to get into that physical grind that you're going to need everybody that can possibly be ready to play, whether it's for a whole game at some point or for games, or whether it's a deal when Reese's helmet comes off, Tunde has to jump in. I mean, you always got to have those guys ready, so the more experience in a real situation they can have, the better.
Rhett, for Sean in particular, did you notice his teammates getting excited about seeing him out there after everything he's been through?
In the moment, I didn't notice anything different. I'll be honest with you, I didn't even think of the fact that Sean had never played when that happened. But I could tell in the locker room after the game, they're all pretty excited for him. And that's a neat story when you go through something like that and you overcome it. And I think that's just at that point for the kid, it's just a realization of, wow, I made it back to this point. And now that's out of the way, and he can focus on becoming a great football player because I think he can be.
How did Avery go first time this year?
Avery did well. He's gotten better and better each week. It's one of those deals where, like I said before, he didn't go through spring. And so I think now he's really starting to feel comfortable with the offense and all the calls up front and all that. He did really well. We're going to have to be able to count on him too down the road.
You saw more up-tempo this last game. Obviously,
Yeah.
they were comfortable with the offense. What did you see? How did you grade kind of their performance when you were actually doing the up-tempo, getting the ball in and out?
Wasn't fast enough. We worked on that tonight. We weren't fast enough. That's just the bottom line. Now, we were better. We had more opportunities because we were somewhat at times moving the ball a little more consistently. We still had that same lull in the second quarter where I think we had 2 3-and-outs, and then we had like a one or two play drive touchdown that kept our defense on the field too long. And so, like I said, some of it's us not executing, some of it's we, executed too well. But we had more opportunities to go fast, especially in the second half when we felt like we could wear them down, and we did. But to our standard, we got to be even better and cleaner with getting lined up, getting set quicker, getting ready to roll. And we realize that some of that's dictated on how fast the officials get the ball spot and get out of the way. But we want our guys moving even quicker.
Right, to that end, it's the second week in a row where Nick goes over like 15 minutes without completing or attempting a pass. When you're dealing with a newer quarterback, what is the challenge? What early on they have that lull and they're not even having the opportunity to do that early in the game.
There's no doubt. They're like anyone else. If you're a golfer, you like to be loose when you're hitting golf balls. When you sit for a while, it's easy to get out of rhythm or to stow up. That's why if you got to throw some on the side and all that you can do that. But I felt like early on he felt comfortable, and then you have that lull. Whether it's good or bad reasons doesn't matter. But as a player, those things happen. You got to be able to overcome it, and that can't affect you.
How much are y'all shooting for the big plays? Obviously the 68-yard, but I think I counted 16 or 17 plays of 10 or more yards, really, and especially those big long drives where you got 10 or 11 yards to run. So how much do you count on that in this offense?
Well, I think a lot. We count on explosive plays every week, and obviously the more the better. But it's just really hard to just drive 10, 12, 14 play drives over and over again. You got to have chunks, whether it's a pass at 15 or 20 or more, runs or 12 or more. And so we definitely look for those. We didn't have enough in game one. We had more in game two. We still would like more, to be honest with you, but we had more. And I think you can tell when I don't know a percentage, but you would probably think 80% or more when you have a play of 20 or more in a drive, probably ends with points a lot of times. And we know that. So that's something we emphasize a lot with our guys, whether it's a guy breaking the tackle or whether we're scheming up, it's a play where we're trying to get an explosive out of it.
I want to ask you about Mississippi State, what you've seen of their defense,
You know, I've seen very little so far, but I've seen enough to know I think they're really good up front. I think their front seven is going to be, you know, a real challenge. I mean, I think they got 4 guys that have played now there for a couple of years. They're really good. I think all their linebackers are pretty solid from what I've seen. And then just knowing the history of, you know, being here at Auburn, playing Mississippi State, even when I was in college, they've always had good, strong defenses. They've always been really good against the run, and they've always, you know, been very sound. So as we get into it more and more, we know this is going to be the best opponent probably we faced, and we're going to have to play our best game to date to have a chance to win, and we need to. We need to get off on the right foot in conference play.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, guys.